Never say never, but never. Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check.
Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 1059 The Zone. SEC Insider Hit brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent in any of the 82 counties in the state of Mississippi. Competitive rates powered by Farm Bureau Insurance. We welcome in our friend Tom Luginbill, national college football analyst with ESPN. You're in Miami, aren't you, my man?
I am in Miami. The sun is shining through my hotel room right now.
Man, how does it feel down there? What's the temps?
It's cold. I just went out for about a 30-minute walk, and it was like in the 40s.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
But that's good when you got to wear a suit later today for 7 hours.
So, how close are you? So I've only been to Hard Rock Stadium once, but we stayed on South Beach, and it took us forever to get there. How close are you staying to the stadium, Luke's?
We're in Aventura, so we're probably, without traffic, we're 20 minutes to the stadium.
Yeah, it's still a haul. Okay.
Yeah.
It took us 45 to 50 minutes there and back in an Uber.
Yep. Why do you think Miami has such a bad home crowd?
Yeah, golly, man, you got to grind to get there. Good grief.
I know.
All right, well, thank you. You just teed me up. Do you think – I understand there's corporate tickets bought for these events. I haven't been to a national championship game since Clemson LSU in the Superdome. You go to all these things all the time. But do you even with some of them getting eaten up by the corporate community, do you expect Miami to have a monster crowd tonight, Luke?
Yeah, they'll have a monster crowd. They will. It'll be really good. I think honestly, this will be about as even of a crowd. I know last time in Indiana just poured into that stadium. I think you'll have a really strong Miami contingent.
Okay. And then Indiana has the largest, I think, alumni base in the country at 700,000 plus. So they'll show up, maybe not as many as Miami, but they'll have you expect them to have a pretty good group there too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, if you watch it on TV, it'll probably look like they dominate the crowd.
Okay. Because of that, whatever it is, crimson, red, maroon.
That crimson, man, and they wear it proudly.
Yeah, they do. God, they had only won 3 bowl games in the history. How incredible is this? You grew up in the world of college football long before you played at Georgia Tech because of your dad, and then you got into NFL Europe and doing all this stuff with ESPN. But for you and I, we're the same age. I mean, I never thought 2 seconds about Indiana football. In '87, Lugs, I went to the Final Four. Indiana was in it in basketball. I grew up as Bob Knight winning it in 76, 81, and 87 in hoops, right? And that's all you knew about Indiana. And how crazy is it that they're here and it's like the day of the game and we're saying the Indiana Hoosiers are in the title game, Luke?
It's unlike anything I've ever seen before in this profession. I have never seen a team that was put together so quickly, that plays so flawlessly, that doesn't beat themselves, that is littered with experience, full of redshirt juniors and redshirt seniors, which is hard to do. As we've talked about before, it's hard to be old in college football.
Yeah.
I have never seen a team do what they have done. I've never seen a team only lose 1 fumble the entire year. And by the way, the reason why I've never seen it is because it's never happened before.
Wow.
They lost 1 fumble. It was in the first week of the season. And nobody in the history of FBS football has ever gone 15 weeks without losing a fumble. They only have 11 defensive penalties. They've only turned the ball over 8 times the entire year. It's unbelievable. Somebody needs to do like a Harvard study on it.
It's like he put chips in all of their shoulders and they're robots, Luke. It's like you can't. It just doesn't make any sense for even though they're old, like you talked about. It doesn't make sense for 18 to 23-year-olds to execute at this level. I mean, look, over the weekend, Josh Allen and C.J. Stroud, who are very talented, turned it over like crazy. And you just walked us through Indiana not turning the ball over, and they're younger and they don't get to practice as often as NFL teams. How wild is that?
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I mean, just think about how often do you see in every game that you watch, like a batted ball at the line of scrimmage that gets intercepted, batted ball in the defensive secondary, and another defender runs over and leaps and catches the ball. Like, none of this stuff has happened to them. It's unbelievable. Like, I'm trying, and that's why they're so hard to beat, because unfortunately their flawless execution has overshadowed their talent, and they are talented. They're very talented. But in order to beat them, like, you have to play almost perfect, because they're not going to screw it up. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen.
Tom Luginbill with ESPN. He's in Miami. He'll be on TV all day. We've got the national championship. It's weird saying this. Indiana, Miami, and Indiana's laying 8.5. Is that too many, Luke?
Yeah. Probably, but if you look at the results of their games, you're sitting there saying, well, maybe it's not. But the thing about Miami is Miami wants to shorten the game, and they want to get you into the fourth quarter. And if you look at their 3 playoff games, they have absolutely owned the fourth quarter. They have beaten you into submission. They wear you down. They're unbelievable on third down. And they start to basically just pound you, and they play keep away. Like, their whole thing is, we're going to limit your possessions by maintaining possession of the ball. And if Miami can do that tonight, then we're going to have a hell of a fourth quarter game.
Okay. The one thing that, if Shannon Dawson goes away from the run, for our listeners, offensive coordinator for Miami, they were gashing Ole Miss, and then he all of a sudden wanted. I mean, I thought Carson Beck had no business throwing it 37 times against Ole Miss.
Yeah, he almost blew it.
Yeah, and I thought they would have pulled away by two possessions had they not. So I think that if Shannon Dawson and Miami start to throw it around the field like crazy, that will play right into Kurt Signetti and Bryant Haynes' mind and hands and what they want to do. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, there's going to come times in every portion of a game where you're going to have to throw it. Maybe you're third and long, maybe you're second and long, and you're going to. But when it comes down to it, if you win first and second down, and you're in second and third and short scenarios, and you start to throw it, I think you're making a mistake if you're Miami.
I agree. I'm gonna kind of rapid fire you on some things, and you tell me what you agree or disagree with. Indiana has the better QB. And by the way, when I go through this, it doesn't mean the other side doesn't have good coaches or people. Indiana has the better QB. Miami has the better overall talent, and Indiana has the better staff.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct. The Indiana team, if you're just going to base it off of performance, they have the best coached and best prepared team going into every matchup that they have played. Obviously, talent. Nick Saban used to always say, if my cats are better than your cats, I can do a lot more. And Miami has that, but it doesn't mean they have to do a lot more. But I think your assessment there is correct.
How did you mention Signetti putting this roster together so fast the last 2 years? College football playoff appearance last year and title game this year. How were those James Madison guys? How did he get them to James Madison so that when they transferred to Indiana, they could play Power 4 ball? That doesn't usually happen. I mean, what were they doing? Why did other schools miss on those guys? And how was a James Madison allowed to sign these kids? And then I know they're 3 years older now, but it's not just that. They've got skills. How did this happen, Luke?
Because everybody develops at a different rate. I mean, when you look at the high school player pool every year, you're going to have roughly 25 to maybe 2,700 kids in every class that will sign at the FBS level. But not all of those kids are ready yet. Some of those kids are group of 5 talents coming out, maybe high-end FCS talents coming out, and then they redshirt and they grow and they develop and they get bigger and stronger, and you get them into the rotation, and all of a sudden they're playing maybe as a redshirt sophomore, and now they're a different player 3 years later than they were when they came out. And it's impossible. And this isn't just about JMU or Indiana. This applies to every coaching staff in America. It's impossible to be on top of everybody. Like, it's impossible to know every kid. And the thing is, you're conditioned as a coach or as a scout or as a player evaluator to take the more higher end, ready right now, skilled prospect. It doesn't do you, like, if you're a Power 4 school, you're not going to go recruit Trinidad Chambliss out of high school. You're not going to go recruit Elijah Surratt, who's a receiver at Indiana right now, that was at St. Francis University, then JMU. Well, when he came out of high school, nobody would have recruited him because there were other people that were faster, that were more athletic, that were more skilled, because they had advanced and matured earlier. And that's why the developmental rate of players is such an inexact science. You don't have the luxury of a crystal ball.
Right.
So you have to make assessments, and then as a coaching staff and as a strength and conditioning staff and as an athletic training staff, you have to bring those guys along, and then next thing you know, guys start turning into people that they weren't at 17 years old.
Okay, so Cignetti says that he's the main guy in the building who evaluates all the talent. Like Lane Kiffin does it too, but he's got a guy named Billy Glasscock. I'm sure Indiana has a GM too. Everybody does.
Yeah,
I think it's the new I think it's about to be the new highly paid. I think we're going to have $1 million a year GMs like in about 5 minutes. You agree with that, Luke? As far as salary?
Yeah, if we don't already have it close to some places.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's able to coach like no one's prepared like them. No one executes like them. They don't make mistakes. You just walked us through the turnovers and only 11 defensive penalties and all this crazy stuff that they're doing. I mean, can he continue to wear these hats, be the head coach, do all the things you're doing there, and then evaluate God knows how many players in the portal and keep netting out X amount of productive players / starters year in, year out?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think, it's kind of like Bill Parcells used to say, if you're going to ask me to make the dinner, then you need to allow me to buy the groceries. So the head man, and again, you said it very well, he's going to have a staff. He's going to have people that are going to work together with one unified vision of exactly what they are going to do, what they are not going to do. And then he's going to make the ultimate decision at the end. He's making the final decision. And so I think he has valued performance. He's valued production. He's valued age. He doesn't necessarily care about, where you were ranked coming out of high school. If we're just talking strictly the portal here, don't kid yourself. I guarantee you at the high school level, they're targeting higher profile guys now than they ever had access to before.
Sure.
But with the portal, like that, if you look at how many guys they have that have, like, before they even came to Indiana, that have 25 starts, 33 starts, 20 starts at another school, think about the sample size of production that you have to evaluate to determine whether or not you think this guy can play for you or improve your roster. And that's what they have focused on. And I think it's a recipe, it's a plan, it's a blueprint that everybody should be adopting.
Tom Luginbill's down in Miami for the national title game. And we've got the Hoosiers, Indiana Hoosiers, who I think had 3 bowl wins in the history of their program in the title game against Miami, that when Lugs and I were growing up, they were the deal for a big chunk of that. Much better than Southern Cal and Alabama in the 80s and somewhat 90s. And Snellenberger, Jimmy Johnson, Dennis Erickson go through there. And then Coker steals one in 01, so to speak. And then they kind of just totally left the grid and they're back. What else am I missing here? What's the best unit on the field, in your opinion, Luke's?
Miami's defensive front and Miami's offensive front.
Okay.
That's how they've gotten to where they are right now. They are arguably the best offensive line in college football, and then the two edge guys, Akeem Mesidor and Ruben Maine, are just sensational. They're special.
And a lot of this is they're a balance between high school recruiting, because I saw a hit with Mario about how they've had a bunch of guys there for 3 years now. So this is a combo of good high school evaluation and development and supplementing with the portal. Am I right on that, Luke's?
You're 100% right. They have done the exact opposite of what Florida State and Florida have done. Okay. They have been able to recruit, integrate, develop high school players and combine them with transfer portal additions. So you look at Ruben Bain, you look at Mark Fletcher, OJ Federic, Francis Mauinoa, the right tackle. And I'm just listing a handful of guys here, but the guys that they have recruited that have been high-profile recruits, they haven't left. They've played significant snaps. They've developed and stayed within the program. And then you add that and combine it with the transfer portal additions. If you look at Florida State has almost done virtually zero high school recruiting development. They have gone to the portal and the portal only, and when the portal hasn't worked, they have nothing to fall back on.
Right.
They have no foundation within their own program because they have gone so heavily onto the portal side that they haven't been able to round out their roster with a blend of the two.
Tom Luginbill, national college football analyst with ESPN. He's on the Out of Bounds show, brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. All right, let's go to Lane Kiffin at LSU. You don't have a dog in the hunt, but you watch what's going on, especially with these high-profile coaches and programs. I mean, he hasn't just stopped tweeting and trolling. He's ramped it up. And I know you're not watching it, every hour of every day because you got other things going on. But as someone who is in the world of college football at the national level, what's your takeaway with how he's operating at LSU now?
Everything he does is meant to create buzz. It's meant to generate public interest. It's meant to generate attention. And that attention then becomes national. And guess where it feeds into? High school kids.
Yeah. Transfer
portal kids. He creates a storyline every day. And you can fault him for it. You can gripe about it. But at the end of the day, if you're constantly in the news cycle, you are constantly at the top of mind of who it is you're focusing on. You're wanting to grab the attention of potential candidates to come play for your program. That's what it's always been about. And he knows that, and he's very strategic with it. And it's worked. I mean, the bottom line is it has worked.
He is still playing chess while others are playing checkers, even those that are operating at a high level in the portal or running their program. I mean, have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, he's dominating college football, Luke.
Yeah, and again, he's very public about it. That's the thing. Is
right.
Most folks want to keep things close to the vest. He doesn't care about that.
No. All right. Let me throw that out. As a former starting quarterback at Georgia Tech, he's not sure he gets Sam Leavitt, so he puts himself out there, flies to Knoxville, not sure he's going to get him or if they screwed it up when he was on his visit, and takes a picture and tweets out that he's at the Knoxville airport. So opens himself up to where if he doesn't close the deal, that he's going to catch hell, but yet he doesn't care, and he does that. Your thoughts, Luke?
Hey, dude, that's what, because he knows that if he loses there, that could lead to the next guy.
Yeah.
Right? If God, this guy's willing to get on a plane, he's not gonna take no for an answer. Like, that leads to the next guy. There's don't kid yourself. He's very diabolical.
Yes.
He is very, very cunning and shrewd. He knows what the end game is.
Oh, my God. So funny you use that. A friend of mine on Friday texted me and said, man, Lane is diabolical. I mean, God, I don't know if it's his NFL growing up around his dad or just that's the way he's wired. And yet I think he has so little self-awareness that, and he doesn't really have any friends. I think he's got acquaintances maybe with Sark and Kirby and so on, right? I mean, he's not, you know this, he's not well, he likes to get on the boat and fish and he does all those. He's not a chew the fat at the grill with a beer, whether he's drinking or not, whatever.
Nope.
He's not that guy, right? You've been around him a million times.
No, and he never will be. And he doesn't care to be.
Right.
That's not his. He's so singularly focused that's just not in his list of priorities.
I had a friend who swims in your world and Lane's world, and he said, dude, it drives him crazy that Kirby is at a blue blood and Sark is at a blue blood because he thinks he's better than both of them, which is okay, whether he is or not.
Yeah.
And that he had to get somewhere, and then he lands at LSU. Like, I mean, he so bad wants to be a part of the national title coaches discussion, and it sure as hell looks like if, let's say, he stays 5 years before going to the NFL, he's going to have a great shot to land one, right?
Well, he is, but understand the place that he left is okay with going 9-3.
That's right.
The place that he left is okay with having a down year and going 8-4. And then if you blend it with a 10-2 or an 11-1 or whatever it may be, then they're going to build a statue of you.
Right.
At LSU, that isn't going to be acceptable. So what he's walked into is a higher expectation level and not the same timeline. The timeline is now. Like, you need to do this right now. And if it doesn't happen, it's going to be very interesting to see how people respond to that.
That's true. Have a great day in Miami. I know you got a lot of work, but still, you're at the national title game, which is cool. You've got an ACC team in it that's been a ton of fun to watch in Miami. And look, credit to Cristobal. A lot of people didn't ever think that he was a good enough coach, even with being a top 3 recruiter in the country and all the money they're pouring into NIL. People were not sure that they could get it done on the coaching side, and they did, Luke. So congratulations.
Yes, they have.
Yeah. Have a great day, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Tom Luginbill, national college football analyst with ESPN. He joined us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. We're live in the Bank Plus studio, Out of Bounds, streaming live on the zone1059.com and the Out of Bounds radio app.
Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check.
That's what Seaton's saying, the offensive tackle from Colorado. We're driven by your next GMC Yukon or Sierra truck. Fowler, GMC, Pearl Brandon.